A couple of weeks ago, I made an analysis of The Incredibles as its sequel was soon on the way into theaters. Great video, go watch it. But now that The Incredibles 2 is finally here, how is it? Does it live up to the greatness of its predecessor, or are we just finding new ways to celebrate mediocrity like with other Pixar sequels? To put it briefly, yeah, it's pretty good. Not great, not incredible, but pretty good. Maybe for some of those who've seen it, think that's a harsh review. But that puts it leagues ahead of Finding Dory. Ugh. Honestly, I still left the theater fairly disappointed. Not that it's a bad movie, it isn't. But when you're coming from the high heights of the first movie, just to be a fun but nothing special superhero flick, and a world full of fun but nothing special superhero flicks, of course, some people such as myself are gonna leave feeling empty. The original is a timeless classic that we'll be talking about for decades to come. The sequel just isn't. But hey, it doesn't suck. Small victories. So, starting with what I enjoy, well, like I said before, Incredibles 2 is certainly a fun movie for you to pop in and enjoy. There is plenty of comedy to crack you up, and some scenes that will leave you dying. Also on the fun side is the action, of which there is plenty. Helen gets a great scene in which we get to see all her stretchy powers in full display, and that was great. A new bunch of supers is introduced, and the film does some really creative stuff with their powers, like Void who can make portals and this telekinetic dude. Cool stuff. And of course, we're reintroduced to and given more time to spend with all the wacky characters from the first film, like Edna, Frozone, the Underminer, and the great Tony Ridinger. Everybody in the theater loved these parts, which just tells you how strong the nostalgia is for the original. But they're all funny and get lots to do. All the technical stuff is brilliant too. Best animation ever. Although being a cartoon, everything looks so lifelike due to the careful attention given to the details and lighting. All the voices reprise their roles and are just as awesome as before. That is, with the exception of the kids. So Dash's voice ends up sounding like nails on a chalkboard, oh my goodness. But anyways, still fantastic overall. And finally, I love the big ideas this sequel presents. There's a very important discussion about how to deal with unjust laws, because superheroing is still outlawed. Do you just break unfair laws, or do you work to change the laws over time? It's certainly a good discussion to have, as it applies so well to their situation. And there's also the idea that being a parent or caretaker is just as much a heroic act as going to save the day. This leads to a nice parallel to the workout montage in the first film, as Bob now studies up on math in order to help Dash. I think it's too short-lived, but definitely a nice touch. And finally, there's a certain dark and spoopy scene that I think is well done, very suspenseful. I just wish there could be more like it. The Incredibles got pretty dark sometimes, due to its refusal to shy away from necessary adult concepts. However, the sequel keeps everything nice and cheery for the most part. This keeps the mood fun and lighthearted, but ignoring serious issues does a major disservice to children. I guess I've begun criticizing anyways now, so the negatives. Sadly, there are some serious problems that prevent The Incredibles 2 from being a great film in my opinion. Most obviously is the villain, the Screenslaver. Ooh. I'm not gonna spoil anything, but at this point, it is so annoying how nearly every single Disney, Pixar, and Disney Pixar movie throws in a big twist villain. I recently watched Coco and thought to myself, they're still not done with this yet? Nowadays, a big twist would be that there is no twist. That's how predictable these are getting. It happens again here and is so painfully obvious. I saw it coming from miles away. Not only is it obvious, but the motivation is so dumb and such an eye-roller. Ugh. Again, we're going from this.
And when everyone's super, no one will be.
To this. In other bad news, I like that the movie is willing to bring up some big ideas, but I just wish they were implemented better. The family has one discussion about the law, and the film never seems to bring it up again, or tie it into any of the characters. It just be like, should we or shouldn't we break the law? who cares, it's about to be changed in a few days anyways. Another problem I have with the movie is how it chooses to portray some of the characters. I feel like after the events of the first one, that they shouldn't behave in such a way as they do in certain scenes, like Violet and Dash bickering at the table. After what they went through together and seeing each other at full power, I thought they grew more respect for one another than this. Helen in the first movie put superheroing into perspective. She taught her kids that there are people trying to hunt and kill them, so for them to use the fullest extent of their abilities, just for their own survival. It's a horrifying situation to put kids in. But enter The Incredibles 2, and immediately they're asking, when can we start superheroing again? It doesn't add up. And Bob being all bummed out that he has to stay home with his family instead of doing superhero work like his wife. He just got over abandoning his family to do hero work, yet he's willing to jump at the first opportunity to abandon his family for hero work. 10 out of 10 writing. So yeah, stuff like that makes me wonder if Brad Bird even went back to watch his own movie. Overall though, I do like The Incredibles 2. It's a very enjoyable popcorn family film, but never excels. Although it is pretty good and certainly a fun animation, some of these major drawbacks prevent it from being, well, incredible. Remember, if you enjoyed this video, to please leave a like and subscribe for more of this Tim Rex magic. See ya in the next video.